Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Kris Avalon Show. I'm Kris Avalon, and for the next 2 hours, the Pied Piper of pop culture will be bringing you the best in celebrity news, gossip, LGBT news, and all the tea and cocktails you may have missed throughout the week. Okay, maybe not the cocktails part because we're not drinking, but unless you were watching this show and you feel like drinking, go ahead because this show is done at 2 in the afternoon to 4 on otherdaradio.com every Saturday. Thank you all for listening. Also, those who are tuning in on Facebook, how you doing? And yeah, I will be uploading this on YouTube as well because I finally figured out how to do it. It took me long enough. But yeah, last week's episode is up there. Last week's episode, if you want to watch it, it's on the Kris Avalon page on YouTube. I did upload the entire 2 hours. Well, I split it because we can't play music over on Facebook. Facebook will remove your stuff if you play any music. But anyway, what I want to get into is the first topic because we're going to get right into it because a lot of stuff broke. There were some stories that broke this morning, so it's going to be an action-packed show. But the first thing I want to talk about is Roseanne and that revival. So I know a lot of people I saw on my Facebook page, they were talking about how they're not going to watch the new Roseanne revival and all the other stuff that was going on. But my thing was this. I watched it, of course, for research purposes. I'm not just saying that because you know how a lot of people are. When you work in media, you have to watch a lot of stuff that you're not necessarily going to particularly watch because you're more inclined. Well, you have to just know what's going on, especially if you're talking about celebrity news, pop culture, whatever the case it is. So, of course, I had to sit and watch the show. And my opinion on it was, okay, it was funny. I thought it was a good episode, especially particularly the camaraderie between Jackie and Roseanne and that whole sort of thing. How they had to come in with the pink pussy hat on and all the other stuff. And they were kind of going at it with, her views on Hillary versus her views on Trump. Even though I still think Roseanne is a psychotic bitch. And we're going to play that clip of her in a minute of her roasting and gagging Wendy Williams, which she deserved, by the way. And Miss Thing she got that bitch all the way together when she came for Wendy on that episode. She wasn't ready. Wendy gonna take 3 more weeks off after trying to recover from that shit after what Roseanne said. But anyway, so watching the episode, and then I did enjoy the episode where they basically talked about the kid, Darlene's son, who was non-binary and likes to wear girls' clothes and all other stuff. That was cute and granted. But I will say this. After watching that episode, because, Donald Trump, so much shit is going on in the United States of America, but Donald Trump felt the need, let me call Roseanne because my name is included in the show. Oh, she's a Trump supporter. So therefore, I'm going to waste taxpayer dollars or a phone call to call her to congratulate her on her bringing in 18 million viewers on the first episode. Well, the first 2 episodes, which was an hour. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people talking about this show's a hit, and so forth. Come see me with them numbers next week when the new episodes air, and we'll see if the consistency. People get so wrapped up in first episode numbers. When we all know in this business, it's about sustainability. This is why when we look at things like Black Panther, which has been labeled, my back is itching, the number one biggest grossing, the biggest grossing superhero movie of all time in the United States domestically, where it's basically, over $600 million. So that's a milestone when you can sustain being number one every week. Black Panther was number one for a month and a half before it was dethroned by, what was the other movie that came out? Pacific Rim. I call it Pacific Rim Job for obvious reasons. I did see that movie, by the way. We'll get into that in a minute because I want to equate that with something that's going on with the Love Simon film, which I think is ridiculous. That news came, and I saw that this morning. Something that's going on with the Love Simon film and a whole bunch of other stuff with that. But I say all this to say is that the woman's crazy. I can't support her and all of her camaraderie with that show. And that's why I said, watching it out of curiosity, I get it. I love Sarah Gilbert and some of the other people that are on the show. Another thing, too, they have a young Black girl on the show, and I know they're trying to pull in all these different demos. Oh, we got an interracial relationship on. Come watch. We have a boy that likes to wear girls' clothes. Come watch. So we can get the non-binaries and the Black people and the this and the that and the Hillary supporters and the Trump supporters. No. See, and another thing that pissed me off was when I was watching The View, and they were talking about, they only wanted to talk about the red states that were watching, but what about the other states? So you only wanted to focus on the Trump supporters when the show is not necessarily about that. But I'm still not watching for this reason. I can't support a show that tries to play up the whole diversity thing, but at the end of the day, um, it's basically showcasing a man who's a bigot. So I'm all for understanding my, the friend of my friend is my enemy thing. Like, I get that whole situation, or keeping your friends close, your enemies closer. I get that whole idea. I try to understand the Trump supporters, but at the same time, I feel like if you're going to support a man who is nothing, is all about grabbing women by the pussy, misogyny, homophobia, trans, we're trying to ban trans people from serving in the military, and all these different things that he's been doing, then I think those same people that expect us to sit and support your beliefs should be open to the other side. And I see they don't do that. A lot of times I'm getting a lot of, you get a lot of ignorant stuff. Like, just watch 5 minutes of fucking Fox News. You'll know what I'm talking about. Especially when you have people on there talking about, what's going on with David Hogg and all these other kids that's out here protesting. And you have them saying stuff like, well, what was that one dude on Fox News? He wound up saying something or another about how, oh, well, I want Muslims in this country, but I can't control that, or some sort of thing that he was, something or another, what he was saying. I'm paraphrasing. But I just say all this to say, like, yeah, I cannot support that show anymore because of what she says and what she stands for. Specifically this, because this came up this morning when I was looking it up. This tweet that someone I saw posted on Twitter, that she wrote, President Trump has freed so many children held in bondage to pimps all over the world, hundreds each month. He has brought up trafficking rights. Oh, she said brought up trafficking rings in high places, broken up trafficking rings in high places everywhere. Notice that. I disagree on some things, but give him benefit of doubt for now. And I'm like, where did she get this news from? Breitbart? Fox News? Like, I don't know where she's getting this information from. I mean, she says the same shit that dumbass that didn't have a job since General Hospital fired him, Antonio Sabato Jr., when he went around saying some bullshit about, Obama's a Muslim. They say all this stuff, like calling, Muslims terrorists and this and that, but yet still, white people go around shooting people in mass shootings. They're never called a terrorist. They're always called mentally ill, which I always find hilarious. So white people are always sick in the fucking head, but anybody who's a shade of brown or darker, they're all terrorists. I don't know what planet that exists, but okay, I guess that's in Saltine Land. This is where all this shit exists. Before we get into this next tip, so you know what? Congratulations on you getting your 18.2 million in one episode. The 1 hour premiere. But come see me when them same numbers sustain next week. And I will say this. Here's the thing. Instead of watching Roseanne, how about supporting shows that really support diversity, like On My Block on Netflix, One Day at a Time on Netflix. How about that? Watch those shows. One Day at a Time is basically a remake of a show that starred Mackenzie Phillips and Valerie Bertinelli way back in the day. They remixed it and added, and now it's a Latino family with Rita Moreno, the legendary Rita Moreno was on that. Watch that. Fresh on the Boat on ABC. How about Blackish on ABC? How about Grownish on what's the channel? Freeform. There's so many different places that showcase diversity where people from different backgrounds don't agree on everything, but they find a common ground. Fuck Roseanne and that loose, wrinkly neck ass bitch that she is and her psychotic beliefs. She need to go back to her fucking peanut farm. You know what? I live for Darlene for wanting to bring this show back, but to throw in this whole, and I feel bad that, once this show gets canceled, that Whitney Cummings will be out of a job again, and then what's her name? Wanda Sykes will be out of a job because they're writers on the show. But I say all this to say I cannot support this broad. Another person that tried to come for, we got to play the clip of because this goes into the next topic that I'm going to talk about. Y'all not going to hear it because y'all are on the gram and stuff and the Facebooks and the YouTubes, but it's on the radio show. I mean, it's on olddigitalradio.com if you want to hear the clip or if you haven't heard it. But anyway, Roseanne stopped by the Wendy Williams show. Wendy Williams, of course, always has to bring up your past, talk about your exes. Can't never just talk about what's going on with you now. Had to bring up Tom Arnold and the bitch got roasted for it. But after I play the clip, I want to play you something because Wendy was trying to defend Tom Arnold. So, he didn't say nothing bad, but he said something bad this time because I got a tweet where he read her ass. Play the clip. Yeah, she does look like a big ass turkey. Fuck Roseanne. Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't mind talking about husbands. He's fabulous. Bitch had to come. She had to come find that improvisation had to come in real quick. Girl, she know damn well that man been cheating on her ass, and she wasn't ready for what Roseanne did. And I'm glad, that there's somebody who keeps their ear to the street of pop culture and is so quick to be like, bitch, I'm gonna get your ass together. Don't do it. And then after the commercial break, oh, Roseanne's so funny. Oh, she's so hilarious. Oh, she could tell a joke. That's what Wendy, girl. Exactly. How you doing? But anyway, so this is what Tom Arnold said when he went to Twitter. He gave his opinion on the reboot and his ex-wife's collusion with the president. He said Roseanne Barr should do an episode about the lies and cruelty she and Trump represent. ICE agents pulling pregnant moms from kids, appalling treatment of transgenders, not just disagree with Hillary, she's pedophile murderer, Obama is a Kenyan Muslim, Parkland kids, Nazis, Nazis fine people. And yeah, because Roseanne did tweet something, I believe, to David Hogg calling him a Nazi because he threw his fist up, like how we black people throw up the black power fist. Well, apparently the way that she went and tried to say he was doing the Heil Hitler salute or whatever, which wasn't the case. And it's funny how these people sit here and they spread these lies and stuff because they need attention. And oh, well, we're just trying to explain how these people are thinking in the world. First of all, ignorant people have always had a platform to express their hate and their vitriol in the world, but and have been highlighted. And it's time that we need to kind of like pull back on that. And it's always a small group, because at the end of the day, it's always a small group that always becomes, the minority always comes the majority because they scream the loudest. So I say, you know what? Fuck Roseanne and all those shows that I gave y'all that y'all should talk, that I've said that you should be out here supporting. Watch that, because there's been rumors circulating that One a Day at a Time might get canceled because I don't think they're getting many viewers. And I think one of the issues I have with Netflix, one of the things I have with Netflix is that Netflix doesn't give out their numbers of on how well something's doing. So we could be sitting here enjoying the hell out of something. Oh, it's canceled. Why? I liked it. But then again, you know what? It ain't about what I like. It's always about numbers and all that other stuff. So it is what it is. So speaking of psychotic conservatives, let's talk about Nutmeg McCain over at The View. So I can't tell you how every day people come in and go in and let have on this donkey about a lot of the dumb shit that she says, especially when it comes to um, gun control in this country. Because her people feel that what the David Hoggs and the what's her name, Elsa Gonzalez, and so many of the other children of color. Yes, we should point out there's some black people and young black children that's out here protesting too. Like, what was the little girl's name that was talking about repeat after me, sound like your name that ooh ooh, shout it out. When they were basically pretty much going around saying, going around and trying to get people riled up and get people excited because you know what? All these years we've had a situation where we've had it until Columbine to get this shit together. It was Martin Luther King's it had to be his great granddaughter because she was a little kid. Can't be a granddaughter. So it has to be great granddaughter because Martin Luther King was old as hell when he died. Not really old as hell. He was like in his 30s, but still. And then his kids is old. So it had to be a great grand because, yeah, I would think like Martin Luther King, if he were alive, he'd probably be around my grandfather's age, like somewhere in his 80s. But anyway, getting off the numbers thing or the age thing. Wait. Okay, so we were talking about Meghan McCain. So basically, she's being called the hypocrite for calling out strong language used by one of the student survivors of the Parkland shooting, which was, so basically what she said was the drama started when the View co-host addressed comments made by 17-year-old Parkland student and gun control advocate David Hogg during the March of Our Lives rally on March 24th. According to Us Weekly Mondays, The View taping saw Nutmeg object to Hogg's use of expletives, saying his rhetoric was not productive. And this is what she said. One thing I will say is that you don't move the narrative when you use language like this. He said, it just makes me think, it just makes me think that sick blankers out there want to continue to sell more guns, murder our children, and honestly just get reelected. What type of blanking person does that? They could have blood from children splattered all over their faces, and they don't take action because all they see is dollar signs. Now, my question is, where is the lie in what he said? Where is the motherfucking lie? Prove me wrong. Where, they all they care about is blood on their hands, because we have seen, like, when the rally happened last week, wasn't there stories that was coming out that there were people who were NRA members that were at the rally with guns to intimidate the protesters? This is news. Also, there were people that were trying to spread lies about these kids, bullying them on social media, people who were a part of the NRA and stuff. So the NRA, what the NRA was supposed to be about and what gun control is about is not what is being shown in the media today. Media today is, or what this whole gun control thing is about. It's about intimidation, it's about bullying, it's about money. They don't care about these people. Otherwise, we would have dealt with this shit years ago, back when Columbine happened, back when the shooting happened with the little kids, Sandy Hook. When all this stuff was happening, nobody was saying a word. Nobody was doing, oh yeah, we were always our thoughts and prayers. You know what? Let me just back up a truck full of those lost in prayers, and when you open the back of the truck, it's fucking empty. Because that's what I feel like. Empty thoughts and prayers and promises and stuff. It doesn't mean shit. These people are dying. There's people dying every day in this country, not just from mass shootings, but also from accidental shootings. People getting their hands on weapons in the house that's supposed to be locked up or is locked up, but the kids know the damn code. They go in there, they're playing with the gun, and the shit goes off. Or suicides. This is a lot of the stuff that's happening too. People are finding guns and blowing their brains out because they can't deal with bullying or whatever the case is. So there's so many different situations that's going on. I feel like this country right now is suffering from a huge case of post-traumatic stress disorder, and we don't really know how to do it. There's not a therapist large enough that can contain this virus that's going around with this. And people like Nutmeg, who are on this damn show that's going around spreading these lies and bullshit, that because what their fear is that if there is gun regulations put in place, then what happens is that we're going to somebody's going to come in your house and steal your guns or take your guns. No, that's not what that is. And a lot of what the Second Amendment was about is not about AR-15s and AK-47s. It was about these fucking muskets. You know how long it takes to load a musket before you can set that shit off? They're not talking about automatic or semi-automatic weapons. So it's like when you're talking about the Second Amendment, I think the only thing that people know about is 5 words. I had to count. Just a kid like, okay, make sure I got it right. It's like 5 words. The right to bear arms. I think that's all they know about the Second Amendment. They don't know about what the true essence of the Second Amendment is. So I try not to talk politics on this show a lot, but when politics falls into celebrity news, I got to talk about it. And my thing is, it's like people like Nutmeg and her even more psychotic husband don't even know what they're talking about. And I have to give it up to Sunny Hostin for throwing a little subtle shade at Nutmeg the other day. I think it might have been yesterday's episode, the day before, I don't remember. But she did bring up the fact of, when they were talking about wives responsible for the things that their husbands say, especially when you're two people who are in the same business. Meghan and her husband are both into politics and are talking heads. They're not politicians. Meghan's father is a politician. Nutmeg, I keep forgetting to call her that because that's what she is. She's a fucking nut job. Nutmeg and her husband are political talking heads. So, when you have these two, and then he says the stuff that he says, like he basically called these kids names, and he bullied them on social media, the kids for the Parkland shooting, about when they were out protesting the first time. Not the recent one, but there was one before that. And she's like, oh, well, yeah, we disagree on things the whole time. Like, who in their entire marriage talks about politics? I don't get that. How is that even sexy? Like, when she was talking about that me and my husband were in the car, and we were talking about, they were talking about some political thing, and she got so heated, she had him pull over, and she had to go in the bathroom and take a breather. I'm like, bitch, maybe y'all need to do is that Yeah, you both have political stuff in common, but how about not bring that into your household? Because that marriage ain't gonna last long. Like, I don't understand how people, they would say don't talk religion and politics. But how do you find talking politics sexy? Like, that would be my job, but when I come home, I just want to talk about something else. Like, I don't want to be up in there talking about deplorables and gun control with my husband while I'm trying to get some in the bed. Like, ew. First of all, that's gross. But anyway, so let's move on, because I'm tired of talking about Nutmeg and her crazy ass. My thing is, I just really hope that they get rid of this bitch by the time they're ready to bid adieu in August. With the View, and they can find somebody in there that's a conservative that can talk politics but not come across like a psychopath. And I think a lot of times, and I'm also going to blame this on the producers of The View, I actually think the producers over there get off on showcasing conservatives and Republican types as nut jobs because it brings the ratings. So they keep looking for these girls that are like the Elizabeth Hasselbecks or Nicole Wallace wasn't bad. I actually like Nicole Wallace, and I love her on Deadline White House. She's someone because she worked in the White House with George W. Bush, so she understands politics. She's worked in the White House. She knows how things are, and she's very mindful of chastising both sides. And I think if you're going to get in politics, you have to hold it like me. I consider myself a Democrat, but I hold the Democrats' feet to the fire when I talk about certain things. Like, there's things about Hillary I didn't like, and I spoke about her ass. And I feel like when people go, but what irritates me also about, because I want to get all this political stuff also, but one of the things, but I'm going there, so I'm gonna go there. One of the things that irritates me is because I've had this conversation. Whenever I've said things that there were things I don't like about Hillary, and it's healthy and it's okay to like things about a politician that you like and dislike things about them. But also, just because I have a disagreement about certain things that Hillary has said or done in politics doesn't automatically mean that I am a Bernie Sanders supporter. Because I've had someone that come at me and said that one time when I said something about Hillary and I brought facts. What are you, a Bernie fan, a Bernie supporter? What would he have done? I didn't say all that. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. Why are we trying to see? That's another thing that drags me about people who get into politics. Stop trying to drag other people into your argument because you don't have anything to back up what the present conversation is. So if I'm talking to you about Donald Trump and what he's doing to this country now, that doesn't mean that you need to measure what he's doing to what Obama did. Obama's not in office anymore. He had 8 years where he did whatever it was that he did. And there were things he did that I liked, and there were things he did that I didn't like. But overall, he was a way better president what the fuck we got now and the one we had before him. So for people to always try to bring other people into an argument or always want to throw in the Democrats every time a Republican or every time infidelity comes around, you always hear Nutmeg always bringing up the Clintons. She loved, like her pussy puckers every time she talks about the goddamn Clintons. Your husband not rubbing that taint right? That you gotta sit and constantly bring up the Clintons and every goddamn thing. So it's just like, leave it alone. Stop always bringing up the other side and shit. And maybe you need to address the situation. Isn't your mother your father's second wife? Like, maybe we should talk about that. Nutmeg. But anyway, let's move on to some drama that's been transpiring with the Braxtons. So it is getting ugly with the Braxton sisters. So word on the street is that, okay, so Tony's new album came out called Sex and Cigarettes. I don't have it yet. I'm going to get it, but I haven't bought it yet. This is her first solo album in 8 years, but apparently there is some drama transpiring between Tamar and Tracy. So the word is Tony is about to hit the road with the album, and Tamar and Tracy are set to be the opening act until Tracy was pulled from the bill. Tony's offered no official reason for the change, but sources connected to the fan believe Tamar's behind the axing. As was previously reported, this is according to TMZ, by the way, Tamar's beefing with her sisters and mother over the way they've been treating her estranged husband, Vincent Herbert, on the reality show. She thinks the show's been edited to vilify him. They've also been told that Tracy's been working on a new album and intended to perform some of those songs on the tour, so she doesn't think Tony would 86 her on her own. Still, Tamar's team is denying she had anything to do with it. For now, Tamar's in, Tracy's out, and Tony's radio silent. Eats a dinner. Should be interesting, by the way. Here's the thing. I don't know if I mean, I was gonna say I don't know if I believe it or agree with it, whatever. But I don't understand how. First of all, if Toni Braxton is the one Braxton sister who has had the biggest amount of success out of all the sisters. I mean, yeah, Tamar's famous on her own right, but she's more of a reality TV girl, and she's a bigger star on the R&B circuit rather than on like the crossover. Like Toni Braxton is a crossover act. So I don't know how Tamar would even have a say. And my thing is, if I'm the older sister and Tamar's giving ultimatums, as the older sister and as the biggest sister, famous Braxton, I'd have been like, I'm not getting rid of Tracy. Now, if you want to, if you want to be chopped from the show, then we can chop you. But you're not going to come and tell me how to run my tour. But if this is true, that this is ridiculous. Like, Toni, come on, like, you ain't got no damn backbone. You ain't got no brain. Like, sometimes I'm starting to think Toni Braxton ain't that fucking bright. Because I don't understand someone who can go bankrupt 3 times. I watched the recent episode of Braxton Family Values when she was acting like a giddy schoolgirl around Birdman. I don't know how she could have that breathe up on her face. Like, that is the ugliest motherfucker. Well, look, I was gonna say that's the ugliest motherfucker I ever met. But then again, I was watching the Queen's Supreme Court when Tiffany New York Pollard was on there, and she was talking about how big Flavor Flav's dick was. Now, I know a lot of people were gagging and shit about that. Even me, I even clutched my invisible pearls watching that. But look, it's always the ones who ain't attractive or short or extremely skinny that got the horse penises 9 times out of 10. That's how God divides. Speaking of which, let's get into the Queen's Supreme Court. So, segue. The Queen's Supreme Court premiered, 2 weeks ago. I know a lot of people gagged and didn't really particularly like the episode because we had Shekinah on there and then they had Little Mo. Shekinah was doing her. She was all right. Little Mo didn't really bring it. But the one person who did bring it this past Monday, I think Maddie recovered quite beautifully, was by having Tiffany New York Pollard on the show. And now fans are petitioning to pretty much have her on every week, which I think would be an awesome idea. The episode was funny. I like the fact that Maddie was the moderator. She brought in the stuff. I mean, and then New York basically chimed in when she needed to chime in. I mean, she talked about the people she'd sleep with and talked about, like, she came in and chimed in about certain celebrity things. It's hilarious. If you want to, you can go on YouTube and watch the whole episode. It comes on every Monday on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, a whole bunch of other lives. But if you want to watch the whole episode, you can go on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. You can go on YouTube and watch the entire episode of the Queen's Court with the Queen's Supreme Court. So I already know, like, after the episode, Kaya was probably like feeling all kinds of sad. She probably, after watching the episode, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm just rooting for Maddie to get the show together, and I hope she does keep New York as a permanent host, because you need somebody in there who's a staple in reality TV, someone who is a big staple of the LGBT community. Like, the gays love New York. She supports people wholeheartedly. She's not someone who, if you say something inappropriate to her, that all of a sudden she's going to use gay or transphobic slurs. Something that I did talk about, I think, last week when I was talking about women, straight women who, I hate the whole cisgender, all that other shit. Like, just women, who came out the womb with a pussy and titties. So, women who immediately will latch on to trans people or gay people and hang around with them because these are people who, they fit stereotypes. Oh, they're good at hair. Oh, they're good at makeup. Oh, they're good at styling you and making you look good. So, because gays have always had the stereotype, we're good at making women look like, look fabulous, or they're better than they normally look throughout the day. So you have these women and some of these people that just like to latch on and have these gay men as their accessories. But then when these men step out of line, the first thing out your mouth is faggot, tranny, mandy man whore, or whatever you want to call them, gazoos, blouses, all these different stupid names that you come up with to gazelles. Like, all these names you come out to describe effeminate men. And there comes a point in time we got to stop just allowing these motherfuckers to just say whatever they want to say and thinking that it's okay, because We want to be included. We want to be involved. We want to be a part of something. Fuck them bitches. That's why that old diabetic fat bitch over at ATLian looked the way she looked. But anyway, let's get to Bitegate and Beyonce and all that other foolishness. So Tiffany Haddish has been coming out doing a whole lot of talking about Beyonce, and some woman who was on drugs that was hitting on Jay-Z, aka Joe Camel, and then the woman basically bit Beyonce on the chin, and also when she came over to confront her, but like, don't be talking to my man, whatever the case is. And now Tiffany is saying that what she said? Okay, basically what she's saying is that she can't say who it is because she signed an NDA. For those of you who don't know what an NDA is, it basically means non-disclosure agreement. But my thing is, if she can't mention the name, why does she talk about the story? Why does she even mention who it is? So you have the Beehive, of course, swarming people trying to come up with accusations of who they think it might have been. And this is where I always say, like, some of y'all Beehives, like, can y'all just, like, find a hobby, a job, or something? Like, y'all just so quick to go in on somebody and throw shade and talk bullshit about celebrity, like, just anything that has to do with Beyonce. That, like, is she paying y'all? Are you getting a percentage of the On the Run tour tickets or any previous release Beyonce albums? Are y'all getting any of that? Like, I don't understand the whole camaraderie of that. Y'all spend so much time on social media swarming people's pages, saying all kinds of inappropriate shit. But anyway, so there's been many rumors coming out talking about it, but then it was confirmed this morning, or maybe even last night, that the person who did the biting and was on drugs, that did the whole situation with Joe Camel, was none other than Sanaa Lathan. So I'm like, okay. So it was Sanaa Lathan, who basically played Blade's mother in Blade and a bunch of other movies. So, okay, so now that we know who it is, can we all move on with our lives? Like, let's talk about something more interesting, like Fabulous getting arrested for beating the shit out of his baby mama, or not, I don't even know, is that his baby's mother, girlfriend, or whatever, Emily B. So basically, some tea came out about that, and Inglewood police said in a statement, the rapper, whose real name is John Jackson, oh my God, Fabulous got such a regular name, turned himself in at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday on a domestic dispute and making a terroristic threat charge. He was released from police custody. Court documents show the alleged crime stemmed from an earlier incident on March 7th when Jackson, while in L.A. on a business trip, became enraged when he found out via Instagram the victim was also in Los Angeles. According to an affidavit of probable cause, while on a flight back from L.A., the victim told police that Jackson, who is 40, said via text he wanted to hit her in the head with a baseball bat and that he would kill her, but he did not want to go out like that. The victim told police she was scared because of the March 7th incident. The victim was later punched by Jackson 7 times in the face, causing severe damage to her 2 front teeth. She ended up losing 2 front teeth, according to court documents. Because of the incident, the victim called her father to remove the victim called her father to remove 2 handguns from the residence due to her fear that they may be used against her. When Jackson arrived at the Kentwood Street residence, he confronted the victim, her brother, and father, but then went to the upstairs of the residence looking for the handguns which had been removed. When he could not locate the guns, the defendant left the house, but not before informing the victim, her father, and her brother that he had a bullet for them, according to the documents. Fabulous basically has lived in this area since 2005 in Inglewood, New Jersey. I don't know what's going to happen to him. Like, you just done fucked yourself. I don't understand. And if this broad, and wasn't Emily B at one point loving hip hop? That's what I think I remember her from. And then he became enraged when he found out that she was also in LA. Now the question remains, why was she in LA in the first place? Was it because she was probably following him and then he basically might have been creeping and she was wondering? But I don't ever understand these women, these no career having broads who sit around and latch onto these men like they're gonna save them or they're gonna protect them or they're gonna do this, that, and the third. And these men are beating their ass, doing all kinds of other stuff. It's the same thing like with DMX. This man has 9 babies' mothers and 15 damn children. And these women are sitting here getting pregnant by him and thinking that he's going to basically take care of them and all this other stuff. And what I don't understand is how these women out here thinking that someone like a DMX is going, oh, if I get pregnant by DMX, oh, I'm made, oh, I'm set. No, not all these people out here, these rappers and stuff, got money like Jay-Z or Britney Spears, where Kevin Federline can go and ask for more than, what is it, $20,000 a month in spousal support because of all the jobs that she's getting, or whatever the case may be. So I don't understand. Like, look at the statistics. Like me, if I was a woman and DMX came in my direction, I'm throwing on 2 fucking condoms. I'm not gonna sit there and let him, knowing his history of drug use and all that other stuff, run up at me raw damn dog, and you thinking, oh, he gonna take care of his kids. Have you not seen the episode of Y'all Fix My Life? Excuse me. Where was he taking care of his children? His oldest was talking about he wasn't there as a father. So I don't understand how these women out here think that these men are going to take care of them. Speaking of DMX, he's about to get a year in prison. I was wondering how long he was going to get. I had no idea basically what was going to happen with him and that sort of thing, because especially when I heard the story that he wanted to play his music in the courtroom so that way I guess the judge could be a little more lenient against him. And I was like, what they gonna play? Party Up? What DMX song are you going to play? But come to find out, they played his song Slippin', which was like one of my favorite songs back in the day, simply because one of the things I've always loved about DMX is that he would do those hard-hitting songs, but then he would also do those songs that would basically showcase him battling his demons and fighting those inner whatever that he was dealing with, and his war with God and all these other things that was happening with him. So that to me always humanized DMX in a lot of ways, where he would talk about "get at me, dog" and all this other stuff and calling people all kinds of faggots. Yeah, I would look past all of that, because as a hip hop fan, I never equated like faggot and all that stuff with gay people like Glad and all of them try to do. We all know them saltines don't even listen to hip hop, but so basically, yes, so he's got a year in jail for tax evasion, and I do think that's good news, because a year will fly just like that. I mean, look at Abby Lee Miller. Wasn't she in jail for like a year already? How time flew, and already she's in a halfway house. So hopefully that'll happen for him. And what I also hope happens for DMX is that not only will he get the situation happening with, I hope that not only he gets his tax shit done together, but I also hope that he wins his battle with drug addiction, some of the other stuff, because DMX doesn't have his career he needs to get his shit together. And I'm rooting for him, and I've always been a fan, and I hope he really gets it together, but it's just this man just can't seem to get it together, child. So basically he has a year behind bars and will be followed by 3 years of supervised release. So, then I also heard federal prosecutors were pushing for the maximum, which would have been 5 years. So, with that being said, I wonder if, because, playing the music and this, that, and the other, because isn't the situation about to go to jail for the same damn thing? So I wonder what possibly he could come up with, or what he could do to possibly sway the judge to give him less than the amount of years he's about to get. So I am curious about how the judge will go on him. Okay, so we talked about Fabulous, we talked about all these other things. Let's get into Cardi B. So apparently they're saying Cardi B's having some serious trust issues when it comes to talking what's going on with who may have leaked her pregnancy news. Well, according to a source tells Page 6 that a TMZ report about her pregnancy hit too close to home, revealing the Bronx rapper is 7 months pregnant with fiancé Offset's child and is due to give birth this summer. The source said she feels that the leaker must have been someone close to her team, otherwise there is no way they could have had that information. So to take matters in her own hands, Cardi will soon reveal the news herself. Cardi, I love you, girl. I like what you're all about. I like the and all of that other stuff that you do. Ew. Like, I like all of the little silliness that you do with everything about you, and you have the silly, impeccable personality. But you're a dumb fucking bitch. Can we just talk about how stupid this dumb bitch is? See, I hate having to just go immediately in and swarm somebody and swoop down on them. But girl, do you not know that when you're pregnant, your stomach grows? There's a such thing called weight gain. People will look at you and notice that you are with child. You can't sit and say, oh, well, guess what, Cardi B, like, you thinking you're going to have the alleged Janet Jackson, where was she had the baby and nobody ever knew about it, but the rumors were always around, but there's no chronological evidence that states the fact that Janet had a baby. Like, this ain't the olden days when you can hide that, when you could disappear for a couple of months, say, oh, I'm in the studio putting an album. You know, there's also rumors that Nicki Minaj is pregnant, and that's why she's been in hiding for the past couple of months. I've been hearing that tea, too. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard those same rumors. But to get back to Cardi B, I just feel like, girl, you're not that brave. This is the same one that decided to question the IRS because she wondered why they taking 40% of her damn taxes. Bitch, do you not know they will throw your ass in jail? When you start questioning the IRS, that's why I never question them. I do my taxes every year, and that's that. But you start questioning, they're going to give your ass a side eye. So I say all this to say, like, I don't know how Cardi B sits and thinks that people can't look at her with the outfits that she's worn on, you know, on these award shows lately. And, like, even when she was at the iHeartRadio Music Awards, which was horrible, by the way. I don't understand how you think, like, people can't look at you and be like, is she pregnant? It's kind of like the thought I had when I was looking at Brandy on, what was that damn thing? Oh, wait, not only did I see her, Brandy on, Star, when she was singing, I saw how they was cutting around all that weight that she had. Did y'all, like, watch the clip and you notice the shots they were doing, like, trying to avoid, like, it was like trickery they was trying to do, like, not focus on Brandy's body too much, because she looked like she put on some weight, even when she was wearing, like, she had on this large blouse that it looked like a fat chick would wear, or a pregnant woman would wear, like, and the jacket that they put, infamous thing that they do with big girls, like they put you in a blouse and some tight pants, and then they'll throw a blazer over you to try to make it look like you smaller than what you are. But girl, camera adds 10 pounds. Not only that, but also when I watched, and I was going to talk about that later on, because when I bring up Todrick Hall's new 90-minute musical movie, whatever you want to call it, based off of his new album that he dropped. Damn it, it just escaped my head what the name of that damn album is. But it's on YouTube, actually. I watched it last night, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You see everybody's up in there from Forbidden, thank you. Forbidden, the movie, album, whatever it is. I even posted on my Facebook page. You go in there and watch it. Everybody's in it, from Brandy to Tamar Braxton, to Jennifer Lewis, to Shangela, to RuPaul, to Bob the Drag Queen. Like, there's so many celebrities that's in this thing, and it plays into the narrative of a young boy who lives in a small town full of gays. Like, it's a gay neighborhood town. Everybody who's in a relationship is of a same-sex persuasion. They have children. And there's this boy who gets thrown in prison because he's heterosexual. So it's a play on how gays would be treated if the shoe was on the other foot. So that's what I pretty much loved about Forbidden. It flips the other side, which is that you have a straight boy who's living in a town full of gays, and he comes out as straight, and he falls for this girl, and he's thrown in prison. So there's that where it's like, yeah, look at it from the other side. Now, what if gay was okay but straight wasn't? How would you feel? How would you be treated? And this is what we're dealing with from us. So that's what I pretty much love about it. But with that being said, you're still a donkey, Cardi B. Okay, so let's get to, remember the show, speaking of saving and things, somebody saved them? Let's talk about Smallville. So this story, I've been hearing rumblings about this, but it's broken out a lot more and been talked about a lot this week, where there's this Nixivum, it's called Nexium. They were trying to be fancy with the way it was spelled. Nxivm. Like, really? You couldn't just say fucking Nexium. But anyway, there's this self-help group called Nexium, who the leader has been charged with running a sex slave cult in upstate New York. Now, the members of reason why it has to do with Smallville because they said the members of the cult were Kristen Krug, who played Lana Lang on the series. First of all, I hated Smallville because y'all wasted 10 years of my damn life me waiting for Superman to get in that costume, and when you finally put his ass in there, all you saw was a red blue fucking blur. That's what pissed me off about Smallville, is that how you gonna do that shit and have me watch Smallville only to not even see him become Superman or be in the suit. Hi Yuri, how are you? How's Florida? I need to come down there and see you, by the way. And little man Xander. Also, okay, so what I heard was Kristen started out going into the cult, seeing those other stuff, but she wound up leaving before, I guess, it got a little too crazy. But then the one who I think what happened was she recruited Allison Mack, who played Chloe on the show, into the group, and Chloe wound up staying. Kristen left before it got a little hasty. Allison wound up staying, and they were saying she was involved in getting a lot of these women recruited into there, and it was a whole sex slave situation. So, basically, it says that. Hold on, because I hate when these stupid ads start opening up. Krug said fellow CW series Smallville star Allison Mack, Krug and fellow CW, what the hell, I can't read today, series Smallville star Allison Mack started with the program back in late 2005 and early 2006, and their celebrity status was used by cult leader Keith Raniere to attract members. Sounds a little familiar, a little religion called Scientology, when they use celebrities to kind of pull people into that. While Max stayed with the program as it got weirder and more abusive, and was reportedly with Raniere when he was arrested at his Mexican hideaway this week, Krug denies she ever recruited anyone and says she got out before she saw anything illegal or nefarious. She tweeted Thursday night, "I left about 5 years ago," she tweeted, "and had minimal contact with those who were still involved. Still, she remains horrified and disgusted by what the group became." She said, "Thank you all for the brave women who have come forward to share your stories and expose DOS," she wrote, referring to the name of the all-women NXIVM sorority, where in more recent years, the feds say women would be extorted into having sex with Raniere and forcibly branded with his and Mac's initials. "I can't believe how difficult this has been for you. I am deeply disturbed and embarrassed to have been associated with NXIVM. I hope that the investigation leads to justice for all those affected. And with that being said, I hope they throw Allison Mack's ass in jail." Now, I loved her on TV, but that was a character she was playing. But if this bitch was going around recruiting women and having them branded with names and stuff, and whatever kind of crazy mental shit that y'all was doing, you both need to be thrown under the jail for the rest of your fucking life. And what needs to happen is, can y'all get, what's her name? Can y'all get, this is when the edit comes in. Okay, y'all need to get Leah Remini on the case. I could not remember that woman's damn name. It's like, yeah, get Leah Remini on the case and have her investigate these people and ask them, because there's only so many Scientology stories that you can pretty much do and put us through in order, for us to have to get another situation or talk about. And then when I was talking about like with gays and all this other stuff, like I was just reading this article where the new version of RuPaul's Drag Race in Thailand, what they're doing now is they're trying to hope that there's pretty much, I didn't know this, but I knew that Thailand was mostly a Buddhist country. It's a conservative Buddhist country, but they're very LGBTQ friendly. And they also have a gay nightlife scene. I would like to do Thailand and go out there and see that whole nightlife. But, and they also accept the third gender. And I know they have the whole ladyboy situation out there. But one of the things that they're saying is that they're hoping that this show opens doors to show people that gay people are just like anybody else, that that they can change a lot of the bigotry and all the other stuff that's going on in other countries. So hopefully that's what I like about RuPaul's Drag Race, that we can highlight and showcase people who are gay, who are creative, but all the different things that they do. And those are the things about the American RuPaul's Drag Race that I love. I don't like when they get too caught up in the drama and the bitchiness and stuff. which I like it. I mean, I don't have a problem. Well, okay, I'll say this. I don't have a problem with it because I understand what it is. I watch the show. And I see for what it is. It's entertainment. It's this. It's that. I don't like the part where you got the trolls who watch, who feel the need to go on social media and bully people because of a scenario that's playing out. So there's this. So like for example, the Aquaria versus Miss Cracker situation. Oh, because of how this story plays out, I'm going to go troll Miss Cracker and give her a piece of my mind and say all these negative things. When you're just going off based off a 5-minute edit off of a reality show. Or the Vixen jumping into a conversation about something that Aquaria said, and she's like, "Oh no, that's not what you said. This is how you reacted, so and so forth." And then you got the trolls coming in on that, trying to feel they need to jump in on the conversation. You're not on the show. You're not a part of the argument. Just watch it and enjoy it for what it is, and not be feeling like you need to jump in on the conversation because it has nothing to do with you. But because people are fans of people, they feel that they owe it to them to try to fight their battles, and it's like no, because even they'll say on their pages, it's all love. Stop being hateful and this and the other. What the hell? Like mind your business and don't jump in on the conversation, so on and so forth. But they don't do it. They don't listen. I definitely want to see the Drag Race Thailand. I kind of wish they would air it in America already. Like at least put it on Netflix or something like that. Because I know it's I know we have a Drag Race airing on Netflix on Fridays. I don't know if the American version exists on Fridays or if it's only on Netflix on Fridays, because like in other countries, I heard like in other countries they can put different Netflix shows and stuff on in different parts of the world, but we don't get it. Kind of like Annihilation. Annihilation is being shown overseas on Netflix, but not in the United States. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about is I did not see Love, Simon. But because we're talking about Asian countries and stuff, so we're going to go from Thailand and go right to Singapore. So the country's Film Censorship Body Media Development Authority of Singapore gave the highest possible age restriction to the film Love, Simon, which is getting love from audiences across the world. While the film is listed as a 12A in the UK and PG-13 in the United States, only audiences over 21 will be permitted to see the teen film in Singapore after it was handed an R21 rating, which also precludes it from airing in most cinemas. So, fans hit out at the decision, pointing out at the ludicrous juxtaposition of restricting the film while giving a much lower rating to The Shape of Water, which, should we talk, features a mute woman having sex with a goddamn fish. And if you've seen it, first of all, I saw that movie, and there's way more inappropriate stuff in The Shape of Water. There's a scene of her masturbating in the tub. There's many scenes of the mute woman naked throughout the film. And then, yes, like I said, there's a scene where she's having sex with the creature. So, to me, I did not see Love, Simon, but I know from what people told me is that there's no sexual stuff in there that would be deemed for it to get an R rating. So, I don't understand. And then I also heard that Call Me By Your Name, the writer was upset because they cut the full frontal nude scenes out. So, there's this thing that I find ridiculous in our country where we're not in our country because we didn't do that to Love, Simon. We showed it in a lot of mainstream national theaters like AMC's and a lot of different big major theaters are showing this film. And people are coming out in droves to watch it because it's important to watch it. But when you have these countries that are swooped and sucked into religion and stuff where they deem it inappropriate, whatever the case is, I don't get it. So I just find it ridiculous, and I just think it's stupid. And for them to just be like, well, you have to be 21 years of age or older to see a movie like Love, Simon, which is about a young boy coming to terms with his sexuality without him either having HIV or wanting to commit suicide or hating his life, or because this is the things that we've been implanted with throughout our years. And it's unfortunate. So hopefully they'll be able to see it, get a bootleg, do something, because Singapore is just really trying to make sure this movie tanks. Before we go to our commercial break, I just want to check out and see if I covered enough stuff for the first hour. I heard that Tyga went and bought himself an expensive car after he was hit with He's being sued by Simon Cowell's ex for not paying his rent. Him and his son King, the one he has with Black China. Now that's ridiculous and it's stupid. But you know, Tiger's always been notorious for not paying his motherfucking bills. Um, Zoophilia. How's that? Is like wait, you can rent it? Wait, I don't think you'll be able to rent Love Simon. Um, so congratulations for them on that. Also, Stacey Dash withdraws from California congressional race. The bitch didn't have a chance to fucking begin with. I don't understand why she thought she was gonna jump and become part of Congress. Like, there's no political bone on her body. It's like everybody thinks just because you've worshipped at the altar that is the orange knob of Donald Trump's tiny carrot penis doesn't mean that you have what it takes to be a politician. This man was able to figure out a way to become president or become a politician. The Antonio Sabatos, the Stacey Dash, y'all don't have a rat's chance of trying to become a politician or win. So why do y'all even keep trying? Like, y'all just want a goddamn attention. Ew. Sexual fixation with animals? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't know. Oh, yeah, you can rent it. Because I forgot, I think you can see it. I don't know if it's out on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever the case is, but I actually saw The Shape of Water on my Fire Stick before, like, during Oscar season when in, I believe in December, it was a couple of weeks. Was it December? It might have been December or January when I saw it. Yeah, okay, it was January. Now I remember now because it was a couple of weeks before the Oscars was supposed to air, so I wound up seeing it there. So yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it, and I saw Call Me by Your Name. That was another good one. So yeah, when we come back because we're gonna take a break right now, and that's when I'm gonna cut the feed and come back for the next hours because I can't play music and stuff. We're gonna play some new music from Shangela, Pay Me featuring Ryan Sky, play a commercial break, then come back with Todrick Hall's new album, a song from his new album, Forbidden, called Doll Hairs with Shangela, but also, like, after you watch the show and everything, basically go on YouTube and look up Todrick Hall's new little mini movie. It's an hour and a half. You basically get to see all the videos. It's basically like what Beyonce did with Lemonade and stuff. You get a whole vignette of videos, but not just a vignette. It's basically, it has a story. It tells a story. It's the music and the videos interwoven between the song and throughout the production, the acting, and all the stuff. So when we come back, we're going to talk about R. Kelly. A new documentary is revealing new sexual abuse allegations where he was trying to recruit a young 14-year-old girl to be a sex slave. Doesn't sound too shocking to me. A 20-year-old man was arrested for having sex with a 14-year-old, and the 14-year-old was on Grindr, actually, and hit him up. And the age of consent and where this guy is from is 16. I have my thoughts on that. Charlie Walk from The Four parts ways with Republic Records following sexual harassment allegations. Vivica Fox has a new job. Yeah, she's about to jump on a new talk show. I will talk about that. Tyra Banks finally opens up about plastic surgery. What has she gotten done on her face? Find out after the break. Also, RuPaul is opening up about being in an open relationship. I'm going to give my thoughts on that, as well as Ricky Martin talks about sneaking around with men while he was in the closet, and how that took a toll on the men that he was in his relationships with and that sort of thing. I also want to talk about porn. Porn star Bo Banks is talking about racism in the adult film industry, and also want to talk about top privilege, my thoughts on that, and how people are feeling that men who are tops feel like they're more superior than bottom boys, and how this situation needs to be addressed. So I got that and a whole lot more. And an ABC reporter comes out as HIV positive, and HIV shaming. I want to also talk about that. That's been happening a lot in the world, and how people who openly admit that they're HIV positive are being stigmatized. So I got all that and a whole lot more. Don't go away. Be right back with more of The Kris Avalon Show. Come on back now, you heard?